Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And you might be asking yourselves, how can Doom, a game from 1993, be ported over to a system like the Switch? How can it possibly be ruined? Well, leave it to no other than Bethesda. Bethesda already still fresh off the complete and total failure of Fallout 76, probably one of the most colossal decimations of a great gaming franchise, and we owe it all to Bethesda, making thousands of excuses for it, then finally apologizing for the game's unfinished state. Well, now we're not talking about an unfinished game. We're talking about a game that's been pretty much finished for 26 years already. Yes, the game was released in 1993. I reviewed the game here on this channel, and I actually used a very good port of the game. There's some slight censorship in there. They took out some of the swastikas that were, supposed to be a callback to Wolfenstein. But, it's a pretty small price to pay for a good port. And that was on the Doom BFG edition, which is available on the Xbox 360. You could even play it on your Xbox One. But say you don't have an Xbox of any kind, and a Doom port would be nice to have on the Switch, right? Because it's a classic game, it's a classic first-person shooter. If you guys are interested in my review, go check it out if you're feeling nostalgic. But here we're here to talk about a different aspect of Doom. What would you do if I told you that you actually had to log in to play a game of Doom, a game from 1993, when back in the day you would just basically put the floppy into your computer and you'd be able to play Doom just like that? But now apparently that's not possible. You have to create an account, and not just any account, a Bethesda account. So not only do you have to have an online account with Nintendo to be able to download this game from their store, but you're also going to have to get yourself a Bethesda account as well. And now it's become a complete internet joke. So here you see, this is a screenshot of the game. You gotta log in, you gotta create an account, you gotta sign in. So let's take a little bit of a look at this article here. It's on Kotaku. Today Bethesda announced the first 3 Doom games were all be coming to modern consoles, including the Nintendo Switch. What Bethesda didn't mention was that you'd first need to create a Bethesda.net account in order to play them. Reset Errors Nibel pointed out the requirement on Twitter earlier this afternoon. While Doom 1 and 2 only require you to log into a Bethesda account once to unlock the game, Doom 3 will require it every time you play in order for all of the features and content to be available. What features and content? There's nothing new in that game. Again, we're talking about a game that Doom 3 was released in 2004. We're talking about a game that's 15 years old. A very good game, but you're going to soil it and have players annoyingly have to log in. And I will tell you, the Switch is a great system. As long as you keep the game in the console, once you hit the power button, you're like launched into the game half the time. And it's excellent. The console can actually be off but still be in sort of a sleep mode. It's great. But they're going to basically ruin all that, because you're going to have to log in every single time you play. Well, I don't know if that's online games, because truthfully I have not downloaded anything from the Nintendo shop. I've only played physical games. But this is what we're getting. We have to log in to accounts now to play not even a new game. But I could see if it was a new game, that would even be annoying. And they don't even make you do that. But we're talking about old games. And you would think that Bethesda would lay low, especially after the complete disastrous year that they've had. You would think maybe they'd shut their mouths, put their tail between their legs, and bow down to consumers a little bit. Because, you know, I mean, I don't know what they're thinking here. Like, I don't get it. What has become of gaming? Like, okay, so this is, as far as I know, a complete game. So, you know, it's not a matter of, you know, downloadable content. It's not, you know, pay to win. It's none of those annoying, obnoxious concepts. But this is like just throwing in just another monkey wrench into the this machine that's like hell bent on ruining gaming, and it's the publishers. It's publishers like Bethesda and EA. It's like they're not, you know, content with just making money on video games. No, it's like, okay, you want this classic game? Well, you're gonna have to log in to our account. So, you know, now you're gonna be getting all these emailed offers and everything. It's too much already, and I get it. I get it. Video games is a business. It's all about selling your game, but you've already bought the damn game. Do you really need all this extra stuff? Like, why has gaming become like buying a used car? You know, there's all this BS involved in it. You know, like back in the day, it used to be really, really simple. You know, you would buy a game right here for the NES, Ninja Turtles. This is it. This was the whole entire game. No downloads needed, no accounts needed, you know, nothing. This was the whole entire game. And we've done this rant before here on this channel. And I've said that time and time again. And so, you know, that was the cartridge. You bought it, and that was the game. You know, you paid your money to buy the game, and that was it. Nothing else was expected to, you know, from you. You didn't have to buy any little extra things with it. But now, you know, now you can expect, like, when you buy a game, that you're expected to buy a whole load of extra crap with it. And a lot of times, it will exceed the value of the actual game. And see, like, but those games I just ignore. Smart enough to just ignore them. And that's why I don't venture online, because that's usually where it's targeted. But Doom has always been like a one-player first-person shooter. So there's no need for accounts. There's no reason behind it. But I'm just saying, it's just so funny that they would go this extra mile just, you know, to ring you just a little bit more, because the customer is a sponge to all these publishers. I have another example here. Like, there's great games that simply don't do this from the modern era. One being, and this is from a huge, massive company. This is from Square Enix, the same makers of Final Fantasy. And, you know, they've done downloadable content before for the Final Fantasy games. But, you know, here you go. We have Octopath Traveler. This game, they made a point that this is the complete game. And there's hours and hours of content. I've put in over 70 hours. And, like, if anyone's familiar with this game, I'm near, like at chapter 4 for the characters on my team, for like 4 of the characters anyway. There's like 8 characters in all, so I greatly recommend this game. I'm going to review it in the future. It's just a very long game to play, but it's a complete game. They made the point there wasn't going to be any more downloadable content. There wasn't going to be any little extras. That was going to be it. This was the game. This is, you know, all you had to do was just buy the game, you know, pay your $50-$60, and that was it. You own the whole entire game. There's nothing else to worry about. So it's just like, why even do that to consumers? You know, and we're talking about a damn old game, a great game, but so it's an especially bizarre requirement since none of the games have an online component. Each game only offers local multiplayer and doesn't require an internet connection to play beyond the logins. And Doom 3 didn't even really have a very popular multiplayer. I bought the original Doom earlier today because of nostalgia of seeing the shooter I first encountered on the SNES. That's a horrible place to have started with the bad graphics on there decades ago, playable in my hand on Nintendo's newest console, but getting stuck at a login screen before I'd even fired my first bullet snapped my rose-colored glasses in half. Is Bethesda really that desperate to get people signed up for Bethesda marketing emails? In response to the requirement, people have been poking fun at Bethesda with the help of software developers, Foon's death generator tool, and imagining what it would be like if the login prompts appeared in other classic games. I really suggest you guys take a look at it, but we might as well just to have fun here. Here's Super Mario World. A Bethesda.net account is required to play this title. Please connect to the internet to continue. Can you imagine that? And that's the point I'm trying to make. That if you put like Super Mario World into your Super Nintendo, can you imagine if you did fire it up? You flick the power switch, and this, you start up a game, and you have to log in. You had to make a Nintendo account. Can you imagine that garbage? No one would stand for that. And here you have, this is Symphony of Night. Take a look at this. It's funny, but I was looking at this one before from Banjo-Kazooie. This is also especially hilariously made. Take a look at this right here. Look how they made this a text. A Bethesda.net account is required to play this title. Please connect to the internet to continue. I'm just saying, imagine you had this stuff. Thank you, Mario. I mean, it just goes on and on. They're just having so much fun, at Bethesda's expense. And it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way, but it sort of has to be this way because, they just don't know when enough is enough. You've paid for the game. And you're doing this to an older classic game. Like what are you doing to id Software's classic game? You're completely ruining it. You're making it a joke. It was a classic game that was sacred. It was a classic PC game that many people could say, that's fuel to the fire when it comes to the PC is the best. They have one of the best first-person shooters of all time that first appeared on the PC. You bring it to consoles, it's completely ruined. Like, you could buy the game on Steam, and it's not even that way. You don't even have to worry about it on Steam. And that's on a computer. Well, but you log into Steam and you're pretty much logged in. As long as you're logged into Steam, you don't have to worry about logging in every single time. But Bethesda's going to make you do that. And I don't understand why it's only like that on the Switch version. And it's not like that on the Steam version. Like, I don't understand, when it comes to the property rights and, Bethesda's ownership of this property, why this is mandatory. It's one of the most confusing things that I think that I've seen in a while. I'm just, wow. I mean, incredible. Just, this is the current state of gaming. It's about ringing the customer. It's like in one of those cartoons, holding, someone upside down by their legs and shaking them until every last coin drops out of their pocket. I mean, whatever happened, like I said, to this, right here, just a complete game with no strings attached. It's just like, here you go. You put it in the console, you start playing, that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. But now, it's like you don't know. When a game is announced, it's always going to be like, okay, what's the catch? What's the microtransactions? What type of BS are we going to have to put up from the publisher? It's like, and the developer has like no freedom anymore. People don't even have like any artistic freedom. They have to like develop now inside the confines, and this even proves something here. Even when it comes to a classic game, even a developer's work from 26 years ago is not even sacred anymore. Even that is susceptible to BS like this. I mean, unbelievable. And you might be saying like, okay, it's just a login screen, right? How long can that take? I don't know. Sometimes with login screens, they might have that checkbox to remember your password. But like, why is it even mandatory? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, why even put it there? They already know, based on things that they've done in the past, that, you know, they've pissed off consumers. They've watched other publishers like EA piss off consumers. Why do they keep poking the consumer bear? I mean, honestly, like, it's complete madness. They keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again, and, you know, they'll like apologize, they'll fake apologize, you know, just to make sure that customers are not too hot at them, so they'll purchase their next game, you know, when it comes out. But, you know, it's going to reach a point where people are just going to turn their nose up to certain publishers. People already have. I mean, I think people have already lost faith in Bethesda. I mean, after the complete debacle that was Fallout 76, I mean, can you blame them? I mean, now you see how they're handling even a simple game. You know, a pretty, you know, by design standards, a pretty archaic, you know, old game that people have, you know, found different ways to run it, you know, like on some pretty, like, modern, like, low-powered computers and stuff. I even saw that, like, they even made it run on, like, a Mac, like toolbar, like on a laptop. So, you know, it's not really a very complicated game by today's standards. It was a modern marvel back in the day, but, you know, it's like a joke now. I mean, of course it's become a meme because, you know, they're so unaware. They don't realize, like, that they're headed into waters where they're gonna get eaten alive by the internet, because it's so stupid. Never learning from their mistakes. But there you go, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of the future of gaming? What do you think things like this mean for the future of gaming? Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, I'll see you next time.